Have you ever thought that a simple story could change the way you see your life? Jesus once said, "The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field." If I told you that discovering the treasure in his parables could transform your life forever, do you want to discover it? Listen closely to these amazing truths. Let's uncover this together. Part 1. The Power of Kindness. The Parable of the Good Samaritan. Let's start with the story of the Good Samaritan. Did you know that when we help others, we also transform ourselves? The parable tells of a Samaritan who saw a stranger wounded and didn't hesitate to help, even though they were strangers. The Samaritan wasn't the only one who passed by. Before him, a priest and a Levite had seen the wounded man and passed by. But the Samaritan was different. He stopped, knelt down, and tended to the wounds of this stranger. That's true compassion. Not stopping there, the Samaritan lifted the injured man onto his donkey, took him to a safe place, and cared for him overnight. He even paid the innkeeper to take care of the man, promising to return and cover any additional costs if needed. The innkeeper was surprised by the Samaritan's kindness. The Samaritan didn't know the injured man, but was willing to help. This act not only helped the wounded man, but inspired kindness, creating a powerful force of change and goodness. Through this story, we see that kindness not only helps others, but also changes how we perceive the world. When we are willing to help others, we open ourselves to life and enrich our own souls. In modern life, we sometimes encounter those in need. This story reminds us to open our hearts and act. Helping isn't always easy, but kindness helps us overcome those challenges, making the world a better place. The Samaritan felt peace in helping others, and that's the greatest lesson of kindness. It makes both sides better. What do you think of this story? Do you feel that kindness can change your life and those around you? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more meaningful stories from the Bible. Let kindness be your motivation every day, and together we can build a world full of love and compassion. Part 2. The Value of Oneself. The Parable of the Lost Sheep. Amid the crowded and busy life, we sometimes wonder if we truly matter. The parable of the lost sheep tells of a small sheep that wanders away from the flock. The shepherd, noticing a sheep is missing, decides to leave the flock to search for it. The shepherd's determination is proof of his unconditional love. Even if he has to cross hills and streams, the shepherd does not give up. Finally, he finds the lost sheep and holds it in joy. The small sheep is placed on the shepherd's shoulders, safely returning to the flock. The flock rejoices to welcome the shepherd and the lost sheep back. The small sheep finds safety and happiness being back with the flock. The shepherd smiles with satisfaction as his love led him to find the lost sheep. This story reminds us that each person has value, even as one among millions. Even when we feel lost, God always seeks and loves us. Sometimes amid worries, we forget our true worth. Remember, God always searches for you and never forgets you. Though the world is vast, God's love for you is priceless. Cherish your own worth and never doubt God's love. Part 3. Humility and Forgiveness. The Parable of the Prodigal Son. The Parable of the Prodigal Son is a powerful story about forgiveness and humility. The son squandered his wealth and luxury and ended up in despair. In the end, after losing everything, he realized his mistakes and decided to return home. With deep regret, he returned home, fearful of his father's judgment. But the father did not scold him. He ran out to greet his son with open arms. The image of the father embracing his wayward son is a powerful symbol of forgiveness. The father even hosted a celebration to welcome his son back, as if nothing had ever happened. No matter our mistakes, we can always find forgiveness when we return. This story reminds us of a parent's compassion and unconditional love. Humility is accepting mistakes, and forgiveness is the greatest gift we can receive. The father in the parable embodies infinite compassion, a love without conditions. The story affirms that no matter how many mistakes we make, there's always a chance to return. Sometimes returning home is more important than any success, as it's where we find ourselves. Remember, we are never alone, and there is always someone waiting with compassion. This parable is not only about forgiveness, but also reconciliation and self-acceptance. In the end, love and forgiveness are the most powerful values that help us overcome all difficulties. Part 4. Perseverance and Faith. The parable of the sower. The parable of the sower reminds us that what we do may not yield immediate results. The sower casts seeds on various soils, each soil representing a different heart. Some seeds fell on rocky soil, unable to root, and quickly withered. Just as in life, good things sometimes encounter obstacles and challenges. The sower doesn't give up. He continues sowing, trusting in the future. Some seeds fell among thorns, choked by surrounding obstacles. But the sower knows that with perseverance, good seeds will find good soil. Finally, some seeds fell on good soil, where they could take root and thrive. Those seeds sprouted and bore good fruits, overcoming all obstacles. This parable teaches us that we need perseverance and faith when sowing good seeds in life. Seeds of kindness, love, and hope all need time to bear fruit. Nurture those good seeds, and they will bring forth beautiful results. Life is like a field. When we persist in sowing, we will one day see a bountiful harvest. Believe that each good act you do will bloom in God's time. Let this story inspire you to sow good seeds in your life each day. And you? What will you sow today to reap a future harvest? Part 5. The Parable of the Mustard Seed. Appreciating small things. The parable of the mustard seed teaches us how something small can create a big change. Jesus said that the kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, one of the smallest seeds. Though very small, when planted in the ground, the mustard seed grows into a large tree. The mustard tree grows so large that birds can nest in its branches, a symbol of shelter and peace. This parable teaches us not to overlook small things, as they can lead to great changes. Small actions, whether acts of compassion or words of love, have the power to change lives and bring joy. Every small action we take, like helping others or living kindly, are seeds of love and gratitude. The parable of the mustard seed also reminds us of patience. Big changes don't happen instantly. They need time and care. Just like the mustard seed needs soil, water, and light, every small action needs nurturing from faith, hope, and love to grow. Steadfastness in faith and diligence can turn a small seed into something large and strong. The parable of the mustard seed reminds us that all great things start small, and family values are no different. Let us plant seeds of compassion and perseverance, trusting they will bear sweet fruits. Every small action, every loving word is a mustard seed. We can make a big difference from the smallest of things. Let us live, share, and plant good things in each other's lives to build the kingdom of heaven on earth. When we patiently plant seeds of goodness, the world around us becomes a better place. The parable of the mustard seed teaches us that small things can have a powerful impact and create unexpected changes. Part 6. The Parable of the 10 Virgins. A lesson on readiness and vigilance. The parable of the 10 virgins is a profound warning about readiness and vigilance. 10 girls awaited the bridegroom, but only 5 were ready with their lamps burning. The other 5, without oil, could not keep their lamps burning. When the bridegroom arrived, only those who were prepared were welcomed. The 5 without oil were left outside, filled with regret. This parable is a reminder to stay ready and vigilant in every moment. Thorough preparation is the key to not missing precious opportunities. Are you ready to embrace everything that life has in store? Preparation is not just material. It's also of the spirit and soul. Always keep your lamp burning, even in the darkest night. And when the moment arrives, only those who are ready can rejoice. Missed opportunities may not return. Always be prepared. Vigilance keeps our flame alive and ensures we don't miss life's rhythm. Those who are prepared will embrace the light of hope every day. Keep your lamp lit and live in the peace of being prepared. For only those who are prepared will enter His kingdom. Part 7. Honesty and Responsibility. The Parable of the Talents. Finally, we have the Parable of the Talents, where a master entrusts his servants with talents and asks them to manage them. 2 of the servants invested and profited from the talents, while the third one buried his talent. When the master returned, The servant who did nothing was punished for not using the talent entrusted to him. This parable reminds us to use our talents and opportunities with honesty and responsibility. Each of us has talents, abilities, and opportunities we can grow and use to benefit others. Imagine your talents as those coins. What will you do to make them more useful in your life and for others? When we share our talents and help others, we are living the spirit of this parable. Remember, our talents are not just for ourselves. They can be precious gifts to our community. The greatest joy is knowing we used our talents well and brought value to everyone. The Master praises the faithful servants for managing well and growing their talents. So, what will you do with your talents? That is the big question each of us must ponder. You can set plans, goals, and start the journey of using your talents most effectively. Using talents is not only a personal responsibility, but also a joy when we share and support each other. Imagine a community where everyone grows their talents, shares, and helps each other grow. Knowing that your talents have helped someone brings an invaluable joy. Honesty and responsibility in using our talents are what God wants us to remember from this parable. Subscribe and turn on notifications to watch more meaningful Bible stories and valuable lessons from Jesus.